What is up, guys? How we doing? So, I bought The Monkey. It finally came out, and I've been looking forward to this movie ever since it was announced. You got James Wan as a producer. It's a Stephen King short, and you got the director of Longlegs, the son of Alfred Hitchcock himself. And as soon as I heard those three names attached to it, I was all game. And this movie looked like it would be straight up my alley. Just a dark humor gore fest, and it was one of my most anticipated films of the year. That Final Destination Bloodlines, and 28 years later, Superman and Thunderbolts are the main movies I want to see this year. And was The Monkey as good as I was expecting it to be? I fucking loved this movie, to be honest with you. So if that's all you came for, there you go. But I actually really enjoyed it. I can see why there would be criticisms of it and why people did not enjoy it. But for me personally, this is a movie that is just right up my alley. Just a fun, gory ass horror movie. And one that gets you kind of like has Final Destination vibes, that gets you scared of everyday life. And I love that. It was a fun movie all the way down to the last scene. So let's jump into it. So, this movie is about a monkey, supernatural monkey, that whenever you wind the key and it bangs the drum, it picks somebody at random to horribly murder. And you get an opening shot with Adam Scott, who I wasn't expecting to be in here for a minute. And he's trying to sell the monkey, and the first kill is a harpoon going into someone's stomach and then coming out and ripping his intestines out. And then you get a scene of Adam Scott with a flamethrower to the monkey saying, "Die, you son of a whore." And from that moment, it was like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. And yeah, so that guy, Adam Scott character, were these kids' dad, who just randomly disappeared, probably to keep them safe. And the monkey ends up appearing in the closet, and you're following these two twin brothers and their mother, who's actually She-Hulk. She did a phenomenal job in here. Well, the part you see in the commercials with her sunglasses where she's talking about death, we're all gonna die. Some of us in our sleep peacefully, and some of us horribly. She just nails that creepy, she just nails the creepiness of delivering that. But, so these two boys find the monkey, and we're following Hal. That's the guy he's narrating through the movie, and he's got a twin brother, Billy, and Billy is a dickhead. He's just a dickhead. There's no other way to explain it. You got your sibling rivalries, but this dude is just an asshole. And he picks on Billy, and they discover the monkey, and their babysitter gets killed. Freak accident, gets her head chopped off at a sushi place where they make the food right in front of you. Dude goes too far and just slices her head off, and you get a badass little slow-mo of her turning, and the kills in here are awesome. My biggest complaint with the movie is that I'm just guessing, I haven't looked into it, so take this with a grain of salt. I think it's CGI blood mixed with practical effects. That's what it looked like to me. It could be all CGI, but it looked like there were some practical effects in there. CGI blood, I hate. I hate it. I hate how it looks. It does not work. It never does. It always makes shit look fake. And you can definitely see that. You can definitely see it here, but mixed with the practical effects, the kills do look decent. But anyway, then, what's his face? Hal gets bullied by Billy to the point that he turns the key on the monkey and says, "I want you to kill Billy." And then it kills their mom. And then they go and they move in with their uncle and their aunt, and then their uncle dies, and they dump the monkey down a well. And their uncle, dude. Oh my god. Their uncle gets stampeded. Yeah, like spoiler warning. I'm just gonna get straight into it, alright? So their uncle gets stampeded by like what they say 67 horses in his sleeping bag on a camping trip, and when they open the sleeping bag, it is just a pile of just guts. And dude, this movie is very graphic, and it's very like funny. Like, it's meant to be over the top and funny, and it's one of those that just every kill, you're just like, if you're like me, when you see something like just over the top and a brutal kill, like I just kind of laugh the whole time. And a lot of jaw on the floor moments and shit, and the humor was perfectly blended in here, I think. Just a fun movie, like a rewatchable, fun, horror, gory movie. And yeah, the plot's a little thin, but whatever. I think I could see criticisms against it, and they would be valid. But for what it is, I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, the uncle gets killed, and then they throw the monkey down the well, and then now it flashes forward to them being adults, and we're following Hal. And apparently Hal has a son. Why did you have a son? I don't know. They talk about it later, and that it's an accident and whatnot. But he gets one more. He sees his son once a year because he's, scared that he comes with this baggage and everybody around him keeps dying. So he only sees his son once a year. And fucking Frodo makes a cameo in here, and he's going to adopt the son, Petey. So basically they got one more week to spend together, and then Hal is no longer allowed to visit his son. So they're going on this road trip, and then the monkey reappears, and then the aunt they lived with dies. Her head catches on fire, which was stupid. So she falls, she gets a bunch of hooks in the face, a bunch of fish hooks in the face. You get a good scene of her digging them out, and but then she's turning the stove on, and her dumb ass goes, and then fucking lights her head on fire. Could have told you that was gonna happen. And but then after that, like that's the thing that I love about the kills, is you see the commercial and they hint at how somebody's gonna die, and you probably think, oh, okay, that girl's gonna jump into an electrocuted pool. She's just gonna and fucking die. No, she fucking explodes, man. And so like, they could have just ended it at her getting her head on fire, but no, she runs out the door, gets her foot stuck in this thing, and then her head goes into a fucking fence that like basically gets impaled by a fence, and then it freeze frames on it, and the narrator talks over it. So it's like super over the top and like funny. I don't know what that says about me, but I found it to be funny. And like, yeah, and then Hal finds out the monkey is back. As he's finding it out, you get the scene that's part of the commercials. I wish I didn't see the commercials, but like I said, they didn't exactly ruin the kills, because I was not expecting girl to blow up in that pool. But yeah, an AC unit comes down, an electrical current goes into the pool. She dives in, super hot girl, just explodes. And you get a good shot of the rain of blood coming down, and god damn, it's graphic. And yeah, so now he's got to go up to his aunt's, who has recently passed, and collect the monkey and try to find it. And so he gets there and he can't find it, but the retailer that's walking him through gets her body blown apart by a shotgun. Like, it is so just over the top. Like, it literally just makes her explode. A lot of bodies exploding here, but you get a great montage of like, yeah. So he asks her like, "Hey, was there a monkey here?" Because he's trying to look for it and get it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. And then you get a montage of deaths, and she's like, no, but and starts talking about, well, your aunt passed Monday, this person passed Tuesday, and he's got a lawnmower on him, and it's got like this section of him cut off, and it's on his face and shooting out blood on a dude that's looking and drinking a beer while he's getting covered in blood. Like, what the fuck is probably the most common phrase in this movie. Like, every death, somebody's like, what the fuck? And, yeah, just the lack of emotional reaction to these kills just kind of cracked me up. Dude's watching his neighbor get chopped up by a lawnmower, and he's getting covered in his blood and just drinking beer. That's how you get AIDS. And shit, I was looking for my G Fuel. Hold on just a second. And then in this montage, you get, yeah, after that kill, you get a guy that gets steamed to the face, and it shows his face all burnt off, which you could tell was partially CGI. And then a girl, she's golfing, and she gets bit by a venomous snake in the throat, and, yeah, dude, super graphic, quick, and so now he's got to figure out where the hell the monkey is, you know, who's turning the key, what's going on, and it turns out his brother, his twin brother, is turning the key for the monkey, trying to kill Hal, because he knows that he turned the key and killed their mom as a child. And at first I hated this. At first I was like, wow, like I get it, he killed your mom, but you bullied him to the point that he turned the key. So you were the domino effect that caused your mother to die, and that shows complete, you know, unself-awareness. But at the end, he does say, you know, I know you were trying to kill me, and it killed her mom. So that kind of brought me back in on it. So, but that's who the protagonist is. And I think the actor does do a good job at playing the twins. But his brother's just really stupid. That's probably going to be the main complaint of the movie, is his brother is really stupid. And so he figures out that his brother has it, and his brother wants Petey to come and turn the key, because whoever turns the key never dies. And yeah, so Petey goes in. So there's this other dude that basically exists for no reason, but to help his brother carry out his plans, because he wants to steal the monkey back, but he's unknowingly doing exactly what the brother wants him to. And so he shows up, gets Hal and the kid at gunpoint, and takes them over to Billy's house and forces Petey to go inside. And Hal says, whatever you do, don't turn the key, you know? And then he does. He gets forced to turn the key inside, and you get a scene of wasps that come in and get the kid that has them at gunpoint down their throat. And you're like, damn, that's a lame scene. Everything's been so bloody. And then they start to come out of his face. And, my God, dude. And then, you know, they go in, and there's a scene where Billy is trying to force the hand of the monkey, literally. And figuratively. He's trying to force the drum hand down, because how it works is the monkey does its thing, then it stays up like this. And then when it comes down, that's when the person dies. And he wants his brother to die so bad that he's grabbing the monkey's hand and trying to force it down. And I knew that was a mistake. I knew that was going to piss the monkey off. You don't fuck with the monkey. You don't tell it what to do, okay? And yeah, it doesn't work. And then they get in, but then the monkey does like a really fast drum thing, and the whole city starts dying. The whole city. You got an airplane crash, and then people drop into the building and with their guts everywhere and shit, and just like the whole town's dying. And then, you know, Hal gets in there and he's like, dude, all this, you were just trying to kill me. And then you get your exposition of like, yeah, I know you were trying to kill me, but you killed my mom. And the brother says, she was my mom too. And he's like, oh yeah, I didn't think about it that way. Like, yes, I can completely see from a critical standpoint why you would hate this, because that is so fucking stupid. You're telling me that you're so goddamn self-absorbed that you didn't realize your own twin brother, that he lost his mom too. And so that was the conversation that got y'all to reconnect. Anyway, I knew that Billy was going to die. I knew that that was going to happen. The monkey was pissed. I loved the side eye from the monkey after they're like, okay, brothers again. And then the monkey's like side-eyed and like, oh, you had emotional growth? Great, fuck you. And then throws a bowling ball through his head. And it's a pretty good scene too. Yeah, it looks like it's CGI blood. But you get the stretched out face on the wall with the bowling ball that says Lewis, which is their mother's name. And that's basically the end. And now they're driving down the street, Hal and Petey and his son, and the whole city, you got somebody that's impaled with a surfboard, you got a woman that's pushing a stroller and it's on fire, and you get a scene where they're stopping at a stoplight. And I think everybody expected, and I was going to put this as a negative. I was going to say, so they stop at the stoplight, everybody's dying. They got the monkey in their back seat, and they see a ghost. I don't know what the ghost is. I haven't looked it up. I don't know if it's saying that that's like their great-great-great-grandfather, and this monkey has just been in there for generations, and that's his ghost. Or if that's like a Grim Reaper of some sort that's leaving him alone. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the ghost was, to be honest with you. But I think everybody as a watcher was expecting like a bus to take them out last second and that be the end of the movie. But it decides to let them live. And then the last scene made me laugh so hard, dude. You had cheerleaders like in a couple scenes throughout the movie that were just there. I don't know. They were just there. And so they're sticking their heads out the bus, waving their pom-poms and shit. And then a semi-truck comes by and then takes off, like, all their heads. And that's the end of the movie. And that scene, man, that was like, yeah, dude, this is certified gold. That's awesome. Now, when I was thinking about it, and I was like, if I could tweak it one way, because I like bleak endings, I probably would have killed off the main characters at the last second. But then I was thinking about it, and the fact that I think that's what we were expecting to happen and then got that bus scene, I actually like that. Because as a viewer, you're kind of expecting them to die right there. So if they would have done it, you would have been like, yeah, called it. So I do like that. And it goes against what you were expecting. I was not expecting to see a bus full of high school kids get their head ripped off. And it was a throwback to a quote in the movie where a girl said, when the school bus, goes into a river, my mom used to say, God's rolling strikes today. And it was a callback to that quote. And that's basically it. But so, yes, you could say the plot's thin. You could say the brother's motives are meh. And for him to become the good guy again, he's got to remember that his brother also shares the same mom. Yes, his brother's stupid. There's an extreme lack of emotional reaction to these deaths. And the way Hal is to Petey, he's so distant. I understand why, because he doesn't want him to be hurt. He doesn't want to tell him about the monkey and then him get interested in it. But he's still kind of an asshole to him. And the CGI blood. Those are my biggest complaints with the movie. I've been reading some reviews, and a lot of people didn't like the third act, didn't like how it came about from a critical standpoint, and I would agree with you. you can definitely pick this movie apart and say that it was disappointing or whatever, but to me specifically, this is a great movie. I mean, it's just a good, fun time, man. You get over the top, gory kills. It's kind of funny, and I just love it. I love it. It's right up my alley. The rewatchability of it's great. It's one of those that you can just throw on and enjoy again and again. Does a good job at making you, scared at everyday things, and it does a good job at making you think that when a movie can make you scared of everyday life, that's awesome. Preying on those fears, not really necessarily having a monster or something to be afraid of, just everyday life being the monster, the true randomness of death. And yeah, it's a pretty morbid point to get across, but I love it. If I could change one thing about it, I would make the effects more practical, but I get with how much blood they were going for. Doing practical would have probably taken this movie way more longer to make. I think it was a mixture, because there are some scenes that look pretty real, but overall, I think this was fun. I think this was a good movie up until the last scene. Over-the-top deaths, a decent story. It had some decent scares. Like, there were some genuinely creepy moments when the monkey, turns his eyes at the end to Billy. Dude, I knew Billy was fucked. I knew it. The moment that he tried forcing the monkey's hand, I knew that it was like, yeah, dude, that monkey's gonna get you. You done fucked up, Billy. And yes, the criticisms with it are valid, okay? But if you just like gory ass kills and you just want to have a fun time, I think this movie's for you. But if you were to look at it from a super critical standpoint, I could see why some people would be turned off by it. Is it the best movie in the world? No, not by any means. I had a lot of fun with this movie, way more fun than I've had with a lot of horror movies in a while. Like, I actually enjoyed it more than Barbarian, because while Barbarian was a more jaw-dropping story in the way they tell it, I would consider it to be a scarier movie. This movie is just more up my alley, just a fun, gory ass horror movie, and I love that we're going in the direction of super gory movies. But yeah, so I'm gonna give it an 8.5, an 8.5. That's probably the highest rating I've given a movie. I also have Companion available to rent, which I've heard great things about. But I didn't really have the money to buy the monkey, so I'm going to have to wait a minute before I can buy the Companion. It is only $6 to rent. See, where they get you is it's $20 to rent a movie, $25 to buy it, so you might as well buy it. And I'm glad I bought this one, But like I said, I didn't really have the money to do so. I can't really get Companion right now, but I am very much interested in it because it's from the creators of Barbarian, right? So it looks like it could be good. Plus, I love the actor, Jack Quaid. He does a great job in everything he's in. I really want to see Novocaine. But yeah, that's my The Monkey review. If you're a horror fan that hasn't seen it, and for whatever reason you're watching spoiler reviews before you see it, it's great, man. Go check it out. It's not, the plot's thin. There are definitely complaints about it, but for what it is, I just love this movie. I don't know why. It's the perfect mixture of gore, horror, comedy, and yeah, the over-the-top kills kind of are the comedy in some moments, and I just love it. It does a really good job. So, really happy I watched it. Really happy I own it. And, yeah, badass. It's going to be hard for a movie to top that one for me. But I'm very curious about Final Destination Bloodlines, and I'm very curious about 28 years later, if Final Destination Bloodlines goes back to being practical, because 4 and 5 were just CGI garbage. All right. The first 3 Final Destination movies I think are great, specifically 2 and 3. The first one, you know, could have been better in my opinion, but for what it was at the time, great movie. But the second one will always be my favorite. Always. It's got the best opening sequence. I think a lot of well, this isn't a Final Destination review, but Bloodlines, if they go back to their roots when it comes to kills with practical effects and whatnot, I could see Bloodlines being really good. It's got a unique spin on the story. And 28 years later, I heard they're coming out with a 28 years later part 2, or like a second, basically just a second 28 years later movie. I don't know why they didn't go with 28 months later. You got 28 weeks later, which is like 7 months. And then 28 months later would have been about 2.5 years. So that would have been a good story. And then do 28 years later. I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot by jumping from weeks to years. So, but we'll see. The cast looks good. 28 weeks later is my favorite zombie movie of all time. And yeah, this was just a good old fun time, dude. If you're looking to have a good time, throw a movie on where you can laugh with some buddies at these over-the-top kills. I think you'll have some fun. And yeah, that's 8.5. That's what I'm giving it out of 10. The first movie I've been able to say wholeheartedly, I just fucking love it. Yeah, there's some things you could pick apart, but it didn't bother me to the point that it ruined my movie experience. And they kept it gory all the way up to the end. And yeah, good movie, fun watch. Anyway, love you guys. I've came out with so many movies or so many videos the last couple days that I'm probably gonna let these marinate for a day or two, and we got to get back to work tomorrow. It's our weekend, and yeah, let it catch up and marinate, and then I'll make a video. Probably not tomorrow, but the next day. But yeah, for those handful of you that like my horror movie reviews, I highly recommend this one. Go check it out. Love you guys. Bye.